June 10th, 2023. Two foes are set to face each other in the ring, both with a score to settle, a point to prove, a message to send to their fans, haters, and fellow boxers, and put their career back on track. Two boxers with matching strengths, speed, technique, and power. A fight that will either make them or break them, with all on the line, the WBO Junior welterweight belt. Will Teo's aggressive fighting style and personality allow him to dictate the pace of this fight and lead him to a knockout or decision victory? Or will it get Lopez into trouble like in previous fights, leading him to be countered? Will Taylor's technique, counter-punching and southpaw stance give him the perfect strategy to fight and defeat Lopez? Or will he collapse under Lopez's intense pressure? Maybe both fighters will develop a unique strategy for this important fight. Which fighter will put the ghosts of a previous fight behind them and rejuvenate their careers? Is Teo still a championship-level fighter in this new weight class after a shocking upset loss at 135 to George Kambosos Jr? Can Josh Taylor turn around after a lucky and disappointing split decision victory over Jack Catterall, in which most viewers and fighters think he lost? These are some of the questions boxing fans are looking for answers to while watching this upcoming bout. Stay tuned as we preview this exciting matchup, Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor. Teofimo Lopez started his journey with Top Rank in October 2016. After composing a perfect 10-0 record, he declared himself to the world stage in December 2018 by overcoming veteran Mason Menard with a Knockout of the Year candidate. Lopez's winning streak kept on going, improving to 13-0 and then faced a hard challenge in the form of Nakatani. On July 19, 2019, Lopez, who was ranked number 4 by the IBF at the time, faced undefeated Masayoshi Nakatani, who was ranked number 3 for the IBF World Lightweight title. In the fourth round, Lopez knocked Nakatani down with his right hand, but the referee ruled it a slip. The fight marked the first time Lopez had gone 12 rounds in his career, and he was awarded a unanimous decision victory.
By way of unanimous decision, Lopez!
On December 14th, 2019, Lopez faced the IBF Lightweight Champion Richard Commey. He won the title in stunning fashion after connecting on Commey with a huge right hand and finishing him with a second-round technical knockout. After Commey, plans were instantly put in place for Lopez to face the best pound-for-pound boxer, Vasiliy Lomenchenko, in a fight which would see two of the best in the division go head-to-head. It was the first major fight since the burst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Without the presence of a live audience, Lopez defied the odds with a remarkable upset victory as he beat the highly regarded Ukrainian by unanimous decision to join the lightweight division and assert his unbeaten record. The first 7 rounds saw Lopez staying behind his jab and going to the body, with his opponent offering very little in response. In the second half, Lomenchenko started coming out more aggressive, connecting more punches. However, in the last round, Lopez landed 50 out of 98 punches thrown, the most an opponent has landed on Lomenchenko in a round.
The takeover! Teofimo Lopez! A star is born tonight. Teofimo Lopez just beat Vasiliy Lomenchenko.
This was the time Lopez was at the height of his career. He was invincible. Lopez was instantly and universally recognized as one of the 10 best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. With a big personality on top of his success, Lopez was on the fast track to superstardom. Then came the first postponement of his apparently routine title defense against George Kambosos Jr., the result of Lopez testing positive for COVID in June. Chaos ensued, with 8 date changes and numerous legal threats that resulted in the fight being pushed to the end of year in November at a different venue. Lopez entered the fight with big expectations and bravado. He continuously trash-talked his opponent, and he said he'd knock him out early and easily.
I'm going to put everybody on their ass, and you know what? I'm going to put my foot up your neck, my dude.
And for someone that has been bullied since a little kid for being a fat kid, you an asshole for being the way you are, bro.
He said he would put Kambosos in a stretcher and check yourself before you wreck yourself. Teofimo's father and trainer telling Kambosos, "You're gonna be forgotten."
You're gonna be forgotten, bro!
Still, many expected Lopez to dominate Kambosos. But when they ultimately entered the ring, Kambosos made sure the fight was well worth the wait. Pre-fight odds were minus 1100 in favor of Lopez and plus 600 for Kambosos. As such, Teofimo came out super aggressive. He stalked Kambosos in the first round, recklessly charging in and headhunting for the big early, easy knockout he predicted. Ironically enough, Kambosos took advantage of Lopez's aggression and smashed him with an overhead right as Teo was coming inside, flooring Lopez with the same first-round knockdown Lopez predicted on his opponent. Kambosos continued pouring it on Lopez and survived a 10th-round knockdown as Lopez made the fight a bit interesting towards the end to score one of the biggest upsets of 2021, turning the stacked lightweight division upside down.
What a battle! WBO, WBA, WBC franchise, and ring.
In one fight, Lopez had everything taken away from him at lightweight. On the other side of the table is the undefeated Josh Taylor, boasting a record of 19-0 with 13 KOs. Taylor was a junior Taekwondo champion and turned to boxing at 15. He started his professional career in June 2015 and quickly rose the ranks with 7 win streaks KO fights. To win his first world title, Taylor had to terminate the considerable threat of Russian hardman Baranchik, who took the fight to the Scot in 2K19, but had no answer to his superior ringcraft and boxing ability.
A little step back, he's not alone. Baranchik at the point. People's opinion was divided. Good leg hook, doubled up again. An astounding finish here, toe to toe. Brilliant, big hearts both.
Taylor then won a unification bout against WBA Super Welterweight Champion Regis Prograis by majority decision. In his next fight, Taylor defended his titles against undefeated challenger Apinan Kongsong in 2020. Taylor didn't waste any time, dropping and stopping Kongsong in the first round with a body shot.
Well, it's all over right here in the opening round.
Taylor then faced WBC and WBO champion Jose Ramirez in 2021 and knocked his opponent down twice in the 6th and 7th rounds, both times with his left hand, and got a unanimous decision.
Champion of the world, Josh!
The result meant that Taylor became the second Scotsman to be an undisputed champion after Ken Buchanan, the first British fighter to become an undisputed champion in the four-belt era, and only the 5th man to do so after Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor, Terence Crawford, and Alexander Usyk. Taylor was set to defend his undisputed light welterweight title WBO mandatory challenger Jack Catterall in December 2021. On the night, despite the fact that he was knocked down by Catterall in the 8th round and being seemingly outboxed by the challenger, Taylor was given a very controversial split decision victory. Catterall landed way more punches in comparison to Taylor. The decision was labelled as the biggest robbery in British boxing history.
Decision.
Bullshit! Fucking cheating! Bullshit! Everybody knows who the winner was! It doesn't cost Taylor! Jack Catterall boxed his fucking head off!
3 rounds.
And Josh,
Put him on his bike, Sam.
And I think the judging of these days is a disgrace. The judging is ridiculous.
I just felt the decision was wrong, and I think a lot of other people did.
Despite the widespread public opinion, Taylor was defiant in his post-fight interview, saying, "I don't think there's any need for a rematch. I know I won the fight." Former world cruiserweight champion and pundit Johnny Nelson stated, "It's decisions like this which turn casual fans off. Josh Taylor didn't win that fight." Taylor soon vacated 3 of his belts, stating, "I've been a proud WBA champion since 2019 when I defeated Regis Prograis. Unfortunately, due to my upcoming wedding and honeymoon this summer, I'm unable to fulfill my mandatory obligations and defend against Alberto Puello in a timely fashion." It's going to be a tough fight for Teofimo because he's only fought twice since moving up to 140 last year, and he's not faced anyone near as talented as the former undisputed light welterweight champion, Taylor.
It's going to be a tough ask for Lopez. It's going to be a very tough ask, so we'll have to wait and see for that fight. And seeing what kind of Lopez rocks up, and obviously seeing what Josh Taylor rocks up, because I think he's going to be coming back with a point to prove. And again, Lopez is going to try to do the same thing.
Teofimo's probably best at 135, if you ask me, because he had that decent power. His power's not going to be quite as effective up at 140. He's also getting hit by bigger, stronger guys.
I always thought Josh Taylor was overrated, so I'm not saying he can't beat Josh Taylor. I'm just saying he better improve, as you said too, defensively in those areas.
For Lopez's 18th professional fight, he moved up to the light welterweight division. In his first bout at the weight class on August 13, 2022, he successfully rebounded from his loss against Kambosos by defeating Pedro Campa by a 7th-round technical knockout after a dominant performance.
Short right drives down. A lot of blood coming from the nose of Campa. Headshot after headshot. Short right hand. A beat down.
However, his second fight at light welterweight was a totally different story. Lopez would return on December 10, 2022 against European light welterweight champion Sandor Martin in his second bout at the 140-pound limit. The first round saw an aggressive start from Lopez, where Martin busted his nose during a clash of heads. But, as in the Kambosos fight, an overconfident and over-aggressive Lopez was stunned by a check right hook from Martin and was knocked down. Still, Lopez eventually settled in, and after a very competitive fight, he received a split decision victory after the final bell, with judges' scorecards of 97-92 and 96-93 in Lopez's favor. Due to the natural size of Lopez, his athletic ability and his technique of throwing power punches makes him deadly to come up against. As he's advanced through the early stages of his career, we've seen some vicious knockouts against top contenders. Typically, Lopez relies on countering with a straight cross by slipping the opponent's jab or cross from the inside, while simultaneously throwing a straight punch. Additionally, he's fond of delivering powerful left hooks after his straight punches or right uppercuts. This makes him exceptionally dangerous when he identifies an opportunity, resulting in a majority of his opponents getting hurt or knocked out. However, Taylor's counterpunching skills might be the perfect solution to this. The Scottish fighter tends to lower his lead hand when positioned at a moderate distance, where he exhibits his best techniques. Since most of his opponents are orthodox and Taylor himself is a southpaw, he attempts to engage their lead hand with his own. He accomplishes this by using feints, probing jabs, or even waving his hand in front of them. Consequently, this prevents opponents from effectively utilizing their jabs and aids Taylor in setting up his own combinations. Taylor also incorporates double jabs, jabs to the body, and occasionally leaping jabs into his arsenal. Interestingly, he occasionally steps in with a jab on the inside of his opponent's center line, a move discouraged in matchups between right-handed and left-handed fighters. However, if executed with a quick defensive action immediately after committing to the move, it can often catch opponents off guard. The truth is, both fighters possess equal talent, and the outcome of the fights could swing in either of their favors. However, one thing is certain, it'll be an exhilarating night of boxing.
I'm glad that he took the fight, and we're ready to put on a show in New York. I believe in the Mecca. That's where it needs to be. The Ring Magazine, the 100th year this year, the fight of the century. That's what it is right here on the line. Don't tell me it's just a WBO ring match. Don't tell me it's just a WBO world title. It's also the Ring Magazine. Put that on the line.
A victory for Lopez could revive his career and re-establish his presence in the sport, while a defeat would further set back his progress. Conversely, Taylor aims to assert his dominance once again, especially after his recent fight against Catterall. A loss would potentially send his career into a downward spiral. With that said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you guys enjoyed it. Until next time.